Hello, welcome to the second boot exit interview. As always, I'm here with Lilly, but we are joined by Sherry, one of like the biggest characters for a 2-episode span I think that we've had. But thank you for making the time to come and talk with us.
No, thank you for inviting me. After just 2 episodes, I was really shocked.
Yeah, I mean, McKenna said it. You are a big character. We were really excited to have you in the season. Were you going into the season worried that, you draw people in, you like to take charge to that? Did you try to think about that before, or were you just going to play yourself?
I was trying to actually be quiet. And I guess even when I try to be quiet, I don't know how to be quiet. I was trying so hard.
Well, we had that one confessional from you that was like, I'm nervous, so I'm just talking. So that gets the better of us sometimes.
Yeah, I really was, because I was really I think I'm really good at long-term games, and I know that. And that's why I've been trying to play a few more of these minis, kind of formatted, because I like how fast-paced they are. I think that really excites me. And the way that you guys have set it up, and it's like you're playing a real game, but it's condensed and all in one day or two, however you split it up, excuse me. And I was super duper excited to play, but I was really nervous because I didn't have the time that usually I take to get into the game and kind of get into position in the game and become vital to people in the game.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Were you hesitant about, were you wanting to do the puzzle in the first challenge or volunteer for the people that got to pick who did what challenge in the second one, or were you just trying to stay low, kind of do the middle of the path?
Landon and Erik were shoved in that puzzle room for like 45 minutes, and you're like, you guys should make decisions. You seem like you're tight.
Yeah, I think it was I really should have volunteered to do the puzzle, but I wasn't sure what to expect. And I'm really good at certain puzzles, and then there's other ones I didn't want to say, well, and now that I see what the puzzle was, I would have been just fine. I should have gone in and done the puzzle. Just like I was kind of surprised they didn't give me the slider on my round. Because I had just mentioned, I'm really good at sliders and jigsaws, but I'm really good at dexterity also. But I thought those two, they really did take a while to do that puzzle and to figure it out. And I was like, I shouldn't have opened my mouth, because watching the episode, I realized me volunteering them to go the next round. I guess I was trying to be like, well, that's your reward for doing so well. And everybody else was like, oh, she just took away our thought process, our choice. And I didn't mean to do that to them. It just kind of popped out of my mouth, and I didn't mean to.
I did like your strategy behind that of like, I want to use that as a tool to get closer with the boys instead of trying to like alienate them, because they had that bond. I want to try and also put myself in that bond as well.
Yeah, because you figured they spent 45 minutes doing this puzzle, they had to bond somewhat. And that's already 2 votes together. And I think I even said that in my confessional. So that's 2 already you can conceive. And, that's where you want to go, is with the majority in a fast-paced game. And I really thought I was going to have that opportunity to kind of slide in on them and do that. Of course, later I would have definitely gone after those 2 and taken them right out. But at that time, it was like, got to get those numbers, got to get into those numbers so that I'm safe for the moment.
Yeah. Well, and speaking there a long time in the puzzle, we saw the first challenge. Matt on the other team is struggling. He cannot get the ping pong ball in the end cup. And we talked about it with him. His tribe was so silent. And then we hear you go, all right, Matt, you just got to give him advice. Were you just wanting it to end?
No, I just felt so bad for this kid, because he was really putting in the effort. And you could see, as with each fail, that he was starting to get shook up. And that's the teacher and kind of mom in me. That's just me. I was just being a human at that point. I kind of forgot I was in the game. I just felt so sorry for this kid, because it is, like I knocked mine out and like, boom, it was done. Everybody else was knocking theirs out. And this poor kid and his hand was starting to shake. You could see it. And he was losing his composure. And once you do that, you're not, and and I just felt really bad for him. And nobody was saying a word. And I was like, this poor kid. So I don't know. It was just the mother kind of like in me, like, oh, and just relax. This is what you got to do. You can do this.
Yeah.
And trying to encourage him.
I think it might actually be one of my favorite moments in our games was you helping them, because I think a lot of people would have been worried it would have affected their game. I don't think it did affect your game. I don't think it put a target on your back, but I think it did show that you're a very caring person. And I just thought it was a nice moment. And so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're very welcome.
The game kind of just went away, and it was like, all right, I know we're like massively ahead right now, so it's not gonna hurt if I'd be like, all right, come on,
Right.
Matt, you can do it.
I know. I just felt the poor kid's pain. You know, you could just see it in his face, and he was just like, oh, and I was just like, that poor kid. Because we've all been in the position. And Zoom Viber, I remember Dakota couldn't get the house of cards up. So I started speaking to him in Spanish, telling him to lick the cards because there was no rules to this, so that they would stick together. And then the other tribe started speaking Filipino. It was so funny. We had all these different languages getting thrown out. And but there again, it was just like, let's just help him, get him calm, get him centered, get him back in the thought process. Because once you do get to this point in the game where you're just like, oh my God, I'm failing. Everybody's going to hate me. I'm going to go home. You're done for.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt so sorry for the poor kid because he was trying. He was putting in the effort. It just wasn't his challenge. It wasn't his moment.
Yeah, exactly. And it stinks when it's the first challenge that's your moment.
Oh, I know. It really does. But I guess it could have been worse. And I guess I really pissed off people when I volunteered. Oh, yeah, you two go in. And I was there because I'm listening to him now. And I was like, oh, I didn't really think that was a big deal. Oh, I made a rookie error in this game.
Well, I think it's also hard too in minis. Like you don't know each other. You're not trying to step on each other's toes, but someone has to say something, right?
Yeah, because we had 45 seconds to make a decision, and everybody was just kind of like, because I did pause and I was like, all right, well, this is what I think.
Yeah.
And nobody disagreed though. That was the thing. Not one person said, well, what did we do? Well, I want to go. Okay, well then you go ahead and go. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be
just
the one
posing an option. They didn't say no.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like I was adamant and demanding of it. Like, this is how it has to be. And that's the way they made me feel listening to them talk. Mm-hmm. It kind of got spun to completely not my intention. And it's just, I am a natural leader. Mm-hmm. I'm a principal at a school. And it's my natural leader. It's just me opening my mouth and I didn't think at the time it was going to step on so many people's toes.
As someone who like also struggles with that in orgs, the awkward, like, all right, do something. And I'm just like, whatever, I'll do, like, just whatever it is. I just like, I can't take that awkward, like.
Yeah, it's just, they were just sitting there too. And I didn't mean it to be threatening. It was just like, okay, well, I'll just, these two guys just really 45 minutes on a puzzle, they're already in that bond position. Let's go ahead and move them forward and see what they were going to do. Because I knew it wasn't going to be anything negative. I figured it was going to be something. I don't think we knew what it was when we were nominating them, but I didn't think it was going to be anything that was going to jeopardize their game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes
I didn't
sense.
feel like it was negative. I knew it was going to be probably something positive, maybe even something that would have helped them get an advantage in the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it turned out just to be setting up our team and picking who's going to do what.
Yeah, which is an advantage.
Yeah, because it gave them the spot to pick where they wanted to be for their part.
Right.
Which
exactly.
I think you were like the only one that scored the point actually for the tribe.
And then they sent me home. That's why I was kind of confused. I was like, you don't want to send home at least the only person that seems to know what they're doing. Not yet. I would have been somebody, me personally, I wouldn't have come after me till later into the game because I would rather stay out of tribal than go to tribal.
Mm-hmm. When your team lost, did you have a game plan of who you were trying to go after, or did you feel like? Go ahead.
No, I didn't have a game plan. I didn't want to put the blame on anybody in particular. I thought about trying to see if maybe some of the girls would want to get together, and I was trying. I didn't know what to do. Because nobody would even shift rooms. Everybody was just, And I knew if I left first, they'd all be like, oh.
The first thought that was brought up, it was actually by Sean. Michael was the first one to go into confessional that round, and you all were still in that one room, and you're just like, Michael?
Yeah, because I was like, am I hearing you? Is this what you guys want? This is what you're telling me? And they were like, yeah. And I just knew that was too easy, though. I was like, I just wish I didn't even realize, I just wish we could have had private communication without everybody around too. That would have been more helpful for me. Trying to do it publicly like that was very difficult. That was a hard way to maneuver. I really was hoping that because I scored a point, I wouldn't be the obvious choice to go, but I do think it was a good choice on their part. I still, if I'd have been them, I would have waited another round or two and been like, let's use her now for the numbers and get rid of the weaker players. And then we can push her out when we're done.
Yeah. I mean, Landon and Jordyn didn't necessarily want to see you go that round, but it was the other four, and there's the numbers. So
majority wins. And they got to be careful. They don't want to jeopardize their game and say, well, no, you guys are making the biggest mistake yet.
Exactly. And what's great about the timing of this interview, I don't know if you saw the episode that went out yesterday, but we found out that there was a opportunity to go on an adventure, and people got to pick who was going to go on an adventure. If you had still been in the game, would you have volunteered for this ambiguous adventure that was offered? I just want to know.
Oh yeah, I would have in a minute.
Yeah,
I would have absolutely.
And there you go, new life.
Yeah, I would have 100% gone for it, because I felt like a lot of the people in the game were kind of new to all this, and I felt like they didn't understand the challenges. And I was like, oh, I would
get me out of this.
Yeah, I can do this. I'm good. We're great. We're good. I'll go right in there and take care of this. Yeah, because I'm dying to know how the team did. The tribe, did they get it together and win the next round, or did they lose?
It was actually a tribe swap. So we see Landon go home right after you.
Oh, that's a shame.
If you could have worked with anybody moving forward, was there someone? I know we mentioned
who are you trying to get your number one to be?
I can't remember her name, and it's terrible because I even watched the episode. The girl who I was talking to,
Jordyn.
I was wanting to work with Jordyn because she seemed very calm. She seemed very centered, and I like calm and centered.
Yep.
Actually, when they said Michael, I was kind of disappointed because I had talked to Michael a little bit, and I didn't really want him out. But I was like, I know I learned in Survivor, you just got to go with the flow in the beginning. Just like they did with me. Got to go with the flow because you don't want to be the one person pointing it out. And I did like Landon. Landon and I were having fun. And I kind of felt like Jordyn might be able to help rally the other females and let's pull it together. And because I hate when guys come in, because a lot of these games, it is more males than females.
Yep.
It seems like the trend, and they start picking us off, and then we don't have a voice in the game.
Exactly. Well, we tried our best to get this game as even as possible. There was only one more man than woman, so we tried our best. But yes.
And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just the trend right now.
I know.
Yeah. It would have been great.
It used to be hard to get guys.
Yeah.
It's funny how it's evolved over the last 10 years. I remember when I first started playing orgs, literally it was almost all girls.
Oh, wow.
It was a girl dominated group.
I would have loved to see an all girl alliance. It's like what you always hope for when watching these games.
Yeah.
Because I even played a couple games where it'd be girls versus guys, and they'd be scrambling to find enough guys to play the girls.
Oh, wow.
And then somewhere along the line, as the community grew, I've noticed it's now the opposite. Women seem to prefer they don't like the Skype games as much.
Yeah.
They prefer the Facebook games.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm just a Skype girl. I love playing where I can be face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it makes it a more fun game. But yeah, I just have one more question at the end if we have Facebook questions.
We do. So Erik asks, what type of pizza did you have delivered when Landon and I were doing that puzzle, and how was it?
Oh God, I did too. I had a cheese pizza because I eat cheese, and Craig and Kinsey were there, my niece and nephew, so I had gotten them. They would want it sausage and pepperoni for sure with pineapple. I can't do.
So you're in the camp of no pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, I cannot do pineapple on pizza. But I am a basic cheese pizza girl. I mean, I don't know if it's because my family's from New York. And every time I go to Brooklyn, you know, we was always pizza growing up. But I just like cheese pizza with the cheese just coming down. Oh, yeah. I am a pizza eating fool.
I love it.
And then we kind of touched on this, but Robbie said openly supporting a member of the opposing tribe in the very first challenge is risky business. Do you feel that impacted the outcome of your game, and would you do it again?
I would definitely do it again because the kid was shook. And at the time, I wasn't even worried about my own game. I was more concerned that he just looked like he was getting ready to fall apart. And maybe I was overthinking it, but he did. He was shaking. And he just needed to take a deep breath, and he could do it. I knew he could do it. If I can do it, he can do it. And I felt really sorry for this young man. I really did. But did it impact my game? I did hear in the first episode somebody, because
it was Robbie who commented this.
Yeah,
he said it in confessional.
Yeah. Oh, they must know each other. I did not know him. I did not know him at all. He just must have saw my name on the Skype thing, because it does show my name in Zoom and Skype, and responded back to me.
You're also just a very like distinct voice and personality that if you're like, hey Matt, you can do this, like, oh, I know that voice.
Yeah, so. And I was very clear, and I was really just trying to get him centered, and it wasn't. It really was just compassion for the kid, because I could see him trying, and as soon as he did get centered, he did it. He got it. Yeah. It was actually like I cheered for him. I was like, wow, he really did it. I thought it was really cool. I was like, see, he did do it, because otherwise, I don't know. He was starting to fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, again, my favorite part. So I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, I didn't even think about me at the time. That wasn't my thought process. The game wasn't even there anymore. I was just worried about him. Yeah, I don't know. It's just who I am. But yeah, I mean, I know I come off really harsh in games sometimes. Even when I left, I'm like, no, y'all did right. Because if you hadn't, I would have taken you guys out eventually. It was all cool. Yeah, because it's true. I would have definitely gone after those two guys, because I would have seen. Anybody didn't already, because they were worried about everybody seeing their bond. It was pretty obvious. Yeah, I thought I saw it.
Yeah, you were pretty strong.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was pretty obvious. If you work 45 minutes on a puzzle together in a mini, you're gonna bond, and that's gonna be your buddy. That's where my thoughts went. I don't know about everybody else on my side.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Well, we like to end all of our exit interviews with the same question. If you could sum up your game in one word, what would it be and why?
One word. I felt like it was disastrous. I'll be honest, I've never gone that early before. I've never gone that early before. I've never gone that early before. Not that quickly. I was the first person on my tribe gone. It's never happened before.
Well, and hopefully never again, right?
That would be good. That would be really good.
You weren't first boot, and Matt also had that to say about himself. He's never been a first boot either. He's always like made the merge in games, and so he was like, that kind of like checked me a little bit. Like, thank you for this experience. So I know how it is. But I mean, you weren't the first boot, so you still don't.
Matt, we can hang out, man. Though
you join an elite club. My mom is in the second boot club.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so it's not too bad in the second boot category.
This was my second mini, so I can honestly say, with each one I've played between Zoomviver and now yours, I'm learning. I'm starting to see more of a pattern to these games. And I feel like as short time I was there, just by watching back, I was like, oh, I should have shut up when they were looking for two people. And that might have made me less of a target. and I shouldn't have shared maybe information about myself. I should have been much more quieter than when I was. Because for me, that was actually quiet.
Yeah, and it's hard because you want to still be yourself, like if you talk a lot, I think you should talk a lot, because that's you. So I think it's a hard balance to find in the game for sure.
And every game is different. Every cast is different. So whatever you did in this game might work in a different game because you might have a little bit more time. So
yeah, I'm starting to, but I want to figure out this mini thing. I won't be satisfied till I actually do much better in a mini.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can't wait to see it.
Exactly. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Sherry, for joining us. And as always, we are on all forms of social media. We have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Whoa. Any fun and interesting things that I don't include in the episodes, we're going to start releasing secret scenes on our Instagram and TikTok. So please follow us there at DCP_org. And good night, everyone.